It's like if you ask a Bitcoiner right now and they're looking at all the macro signals, right? They're looking at, consumer spending. It's like it's still up, but
It's dropping. It's dropping.
Yeah, it's dropping.
Jobs are dropping.
Jobs are dropping.
Inflation's trending back upwards.
Yeah, and credit card debt is going higher and personal savings is going lower. So if you look at all those macro factors, it would make sense that the stock market would start to go down. The thing is the reason that we're like, Bitcoiners and we kind of look at all these things is because the market never actually makes sense. It's always been delusional.
Yeah, that's why it's at an all-time high. That's why the market being at an all-time high right now doesn't make sense. And when things don't make sense and they're delusional for a long enough period of time, that delusionment is obvious, eventually you get steep corrections, and we haven't had a steep correction yet. So It makes more sense to predict the market going down with where we are than going up from where we are at these current levels.
But we're in an election year. That's the one caveat here, I think. It's every single time we're in an election year, the stock market goes up. And what I think is going to happen, which would make sense here, is that, all right, so say Trump gets elected in this upcoming election, or a Republican, whatever, changes parties, the stock market crashes, the narrative then turns to Trump crashed the market. I mean, that's exactly how I think this is going to play out.
I actually agree with that. And it also ties into why they're going to cut in Q4, because generally speaking, I'm no financial expert, and this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy who rides a tricycle with his friend talking about macroeconomics, and the state of Bitcoin and everything else. But generally speaking, the market performs the best right before, during a pausing period, in the anticipation of a cutting cycle.
Yeah.
And once they start cutting, the markets usually start plummeting because, especially with how inflation is trending and how everything is going, if they start cutting right now, especially if inflation is ticking up, that is a really bad sign for the entire economy as a whole, and then the reverberations of that will be felt across the board in a way that we may never understand or see right now or fathom.
Yeah, 100%.